Okay, so here we've got question 24. So this was of the last year's exam. So Andre invested 18,000 into an account for 5 years. So when we're investing, we try to think about Finance Solver, and so that would be a negative thing. And it says for 5 years compounding monthly. So PPY equals 12. And then 5 years, you might go back and write, oh yeah, that's going to be 5 times 12. Important to try to make you think about how many compounding periods. He adds extra payments into the account. So in terms of Finance Solver, the payment is negative because it's being put into the account. Okay? And each month, immediately after interest is calculated, they will say that in every case. So the first 2 years of the balance of the account in dollars after n month can be modeled by this recurrence relation. So we can see with the AO, there's the PV. And because it's an investment, we already said that it would be a negative. Now, because this is an investment that is growing, it is also, this is, because we're technically adding 100 to the total investment. But in Finance Solver, we knew that had to be, that's the payment, but it's a negative payment because we're putting it into the bank. But there was their way of showing you what the payment was. So we saw yesterday, and we saw that we're getting these change of scenarios. So he starts off with that, and then but he's going to do this investment for 5 years. So they said this was for the first 2 years. So we've got over here, we might put that it's 2 times 12 because that's the 2 years. Because after 2 years, he would like the account to reach 30,000. So as I said, sometimes it's easier to put the change of scenario, put it in a different color pen so you're aware that this would be a different Finance Solver. So he wants it to be 30,000. So that's a final value he wants. And at the end of the 5 years. So if you've already gone 2 years, you've got 3 years left. So with these change of scenarios, remember what I said, get to the end of the first period, and then we pretend that we're starting again and how long we've got left on it. So we would say 2 years. So he must increase the monthly payment to achieve this. The new monthly payment is. So in that second scenario, the payment is the question. So when we write it out, we're going to find. So what we have to do with these changes scenarios, remember what I said? I said you need to get to the end of the first part and then you're like starting again. So here up here, I'm going to go, all right, so I need to find, this is the first 2 years, and I need to know what he's up to in his investment. So really, I want to know what the final value is after the 2 years. So I'm going to pop in the titles. And we're going to, so this is what I'm looking for. So that means everything else I need to be able to cover for it. So we know N is 2. And I'm just going to pop in what I do know. I knew that he invested 18,000. We know the payment was 100 because we got that from the recurrence relation, and we knew PPY was 12. Now, F is the question. So here I'm needing this interest rate. So I need the interest rate. Now up here, in here is the interest rate. We can find the interest rate in there. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how you can do it in Finance Solver, but let's just put a little note in our notes. So if we're finding I, which is the rate, R, from a recurrence relation. So when we're talking about Finance Solver and we want the per annum rate for Finance Solver because that's how it works, what you're going to do is you can put in, it's pretty much the similar formula we had for finding little r. So what you're going to do is you're going to do that big R. So down here, can you see this bit is big R? So you're going to do big R minus 1. Then you're going to times it by 100 and you times it by the PPY. Because I is the rate per annum. So that's what we do. So when we're down here in Finance Solver, we want to put in that. So I want to put the formula. So I'll put 1.002 minus 1. I'm just going to actually rub out the box now, but I'm going to do bracket 1.002 minus 1 times the 100 times the 12. And what you'll find is that probably ends up being, when you tab to the next one, you'll get 2.4. So it's 2.4% per annum. All right, so now you can write that expression into your calculator. So let me just show you, and let's do that. So we want to, on a normal calc page, we'll go to Finance Solver, and we're going to go 2 times 12. I always just think it's safer to do that. Now, oops. So if I go in here, so what I'm saying is you can type out that formula. So 1.002 minus 1, and then you just go times 100 times the PPY, which is 12 in this case. And then we're going, and did you see how it changed it to 2.4? Because that's what that calculation is equal to. And then I change these to this. Now the final value is what I want to know, so I just deleted that. I can see PPY is 12, and I press enter, and that's how I got this value here. So I got 21340.18. Now I'm going to start rounding to 2 decimal places because of the money. Now in your textbook, when they're doing the change of scenarios, they don't round it, they copy paste that number into where we're going to use it in a minute. But you can round, like technically I reckon you should round, because generally you get it stepped out in the SAC. They'll ask you for that answer, then use that answer. And in the exam, they make sure that it works both ways. So if you didn't round, you'll get the same answer as if you did round. Okay, so now we know what we're at the end of the 2 years, but we want to get to we want to know something about in the last 3 years. So now we're going to do the next 3 years. So this is now what we're going to, and we pretend that we're starting again. So that's what you do with all of these. So you pretend like he's starting his investment again, and we pop in all the things we needed to know. Now, payment is the question. So put a box on that so you know that's the one you're not going to have. So we're going to be going on this new part for the final 3 years of it. Now, I know that that's 2.4 because that didn't change. Now, you can just say that I got it from there if you typed out the same formula. Now, the new PV is going to be, because we're going to pretend we're starting again, so it's like he's investing that amount he had. So we need to be careful though, because when you invest money, it's a negative. So we're popping that same number in, and this is where I'm saying I'm taking the rounded, like I'm copying the rounded answer. So I'll pop that in. Now, FV, we got told up there, he wants it to be 30,000 at the end of the 5 years. So we want to know, what does he need to change his payment to? And if you type in all of that, you get 189.55. So we end up with A.